Welcome. I'm Jamie Tyler, your energy esthetician, and this is the Love Aligned podcast. So today I'm going to be talking about the divine feminine and the divine masculine. So we have, all of us, male, female, we have both feminine and masculine in us, and it's about bringing it back, healing it, one way or another, and recognizing when we are off balance within the masculine and feminine. When studying static electricity in high school, one of the first principles we are taught is that the positively charged protons and the negatively charged electrons attract each other. And through this attraction, electricity can flow and the light bulb can go on, right? So regardless of our gender or the gender we identify with, we are all made of energy, masculine and feminine energies. We can see this in nature as well, right? So masculine and feminine go in a pair. They nourish each other. This is part of the duality that makes everything in our world. Over the years, the feminine has been disrespected. It's been dishonored, dominated by the wounded masculine and the patriarchy. The world has gotten out of the natural balance. Looking at the energies within us and trying to balance them by reintegrating and embodying more of the feminine energy is the key to a much healthier relationship or relationships and more balanced and better world. Both masculine and feminine energies have an unhealthy, wounded aspect and a healthy, divine aspect. So the wounded part comes from ego, A place of fear, darkness, always leads to pain. When we shine light on these aspects of ourselves, when we become aware, of what is unhealthy or wounded, we can heal and transform this into healthy and divine energy just by honestly understanding and knowing and being aware of it. When we become aware of our unhealthy patterns of our wounded self, we can stop recreating the same patterns, stop projecting them out onto others, and heal our relationships. The unhealthy masculine feeds the unhealthy feminine, and vice versa. So we encounter this in our relationships as well, which usually creates codependency. And honestly, you've probably seen it amongst either yourselves or family or friends. That never ends well. But when we are aware of this, the unhealthy masculine and feminine can heal and become healthy again. The healthy masculine and the healthy feminine grow together and become united as one. When the two are healthy, we are healed from the inside out. So these energies become divine. It is up to us to step into it. It's up to us to step into this divine masculine and the divine feminine. And the shift is happening. The feminine is rising. Our world is craving for more balance. We all have the power to step into the highest expressions of ourselves to create change. So I'm going to kind of go over what is divine feminine and what is divine masculine, right? So the divine feminine is what allows us to just be. It is powerful, loving, and caring, and allows faith, trusting deep inner knowing and higher intuition. It allows us to take our time with observations. So she discovers her way from the inside by feeling wisdom, love, and freedom from within. So she's magnetic, and attracts everything she wants simply by knowing that it's already hers. This allows for the manifestations of her dreams. The wounded feminine, on the other hand, so the feminine energy when it's not in its full power or has been subjected to trauma, right, changes, So that's the healthy feminine, the wounded feminine, and I'll go over aspects of those later. But the divine masculine is what allows us to take decisive action, but not aggressive or angry action despite what we might assume. Instead, it is based in open, loving, and faith-based action. The masculine listens to the divine feminine's knowledge. He receives her intuitive wisdom with openness and then acts on that knowledge with confidence. So this action is based in knowing that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. It is masculine energy that unites the world in love and personal authority. It is he who looks out for, protects, and provides for his community, family, and those in need. But the wounded masculine perverts this by creating conflict when fear has overtaken faith, and he feels the need to prove a sense of worth due to feeling unworthy of inclusion or love. But like I said, I'm going to go over more characteristics of both. So let's talk about when the divine feminine is actually healthy, okay? So when she's healthy, she is grounded, receptive, and reflective. She has strong boundaries. She is gracious in her strength. She's loving, empathetic, compassionate. She's supportive. She also knows how to ask for what she needs. She is vulnerable and authentic. And, it's amazing because when it's all balanced out, she is not afraid to speak her heart, and she does it with no shame. So it's amazing. And she knows how to surrender. She's naturally intuitive. She listens to her heart rather than her mind. So that is a healthy divine feminine. Now, when our divine masculine is healthy, he is deeply present and listens without being distracted. He doesn't judge. He creates a safe environment. He doesn't take things personally. He is a guiding force, supportive and encouraging. He is a man of his word, honest, accountable, humble, has integrity. And his service and everything he does is within the highest good. And also, he's grounded. So what happens if we switch that, though? What happens if the divine feminine is wounded or unhealthy? What does she look like? Well, she's usually insecure, and she does look for external validation. She can be critical, and her loved ones feel like they can never do anything right. She can't control her emotions. She's afraid of loss, is very attached in unhealthy, excessive ways. She overconnects and overshares her emotions and needs, feels like a victim, she doesn't prioritize, I should say, herself, but she does to others at her expense. And she has an unhealthy internal masculine, no boundaries or self-control. And then, when the divine masculine is wounded or unhealthy, he's competitive, just wants to win. He's too focused on these goals and attached to success, tends to avoid connection, takes everything personally, needs to be right, fears failure, can be aggressive, critical, judgmental, selfish, just stuck in the mind. He doesn't get in touch with his emotions, just has an unhealthy internal feminine who's seriously, rigid and controlling. And these are like the negative aspects of both, and we really want to heal them both, right? So how do we go about healing them? How do we balance these out within ourselves so that we can have everything in harmony, our feminine and our masculine, and be able to understand when it's healthy and when it's not? So how do we go about healing them? So we're going to talk about healing the sacred masculine first. Like, what can we do? So the first thing is understand that compassion and strength are not mutually exclusive. Growing up, many of us were taught to believe that compassion and strength act in opposition to one another. There's this idea that compassionate nature of the feminine denotes weakness, while the strength of the masculine denotes a lack of empathy. I believe that the two can and should exist in harmony. When it comes down to it, there is strength in compassion and compassion in true strength. Teach your children to be both kind and bold. In order to cultivate healing between the divine, feminine, and masculine, we must teach our children to embody both by teaching our children to hold qualities of kindness, empathy, acceptance, while also remaining adventurous, assertive, and bold. We can show them that the divine masculine and the divine feminine don't take away from each other. However, in fact, they actually feed and strengthen each other. Remember, emoting is not a sign of weakness. And I'm going to repeat it again because it does bear repeating. So, emoting is not a sign of weakness. It often baffles me that little boys are taught not to cry, but little girls are encouraged to, right? Most of the issues we face today can be attributed to emotional constipation, I'm going to call it. There are too many people, men and women alike, who have not been given the space and opportunity to cry, to feel, to be with all of their feelings. In fact, I personally have met people who are so disconnected from their feelings and emotions that they need to be taught how to access, those parts of themselves. That kind of repression seeps up in ways that are not only harmful to the individual and their immediate surroundings, but to our communities. And it's just all over. It really doesn't help anybody. When little girls and little boys are encouraged to acknowledge, process, and understand their emotions, and are supported in expressing how they feel, they grow into balanced men and women who are equipped with tools necessary to navigate in an ever-changing, shifting world. So important. And then another thing is rewrite your father's narrative story. What story do you tell yourself about your father or the men in your life? How does it make you feel? Does it support your growth, or does it help you to harbor feelings of guilt, shame, embarrassment, or anger? If the story you have about your father or other men in your life isn't empowering, if it doesn't empower you, are you willing to trade it in for one that is? So just as we can shift our relationship to money, or health or families or self-worth, and more by transforming how we view it and identify with it, we can do the same around our narratives and stories about our fathers and male figures. To do so, I will say, does require forgiveness. Although we can't physically go back and fix or change events that created any of it, we can energetically do so, freeing up ourselves and them from the pain and guilt. So are you, and it's something you have to ask, are you willing to learn from it and forget and forgive the past and write a story that feels good to your heart and your mind? One that allows you the joy that comes from acceptance and starting new? Just be gentle with yourself. You are worth a new beginning. And so are those who may have hurt and undervalued you. Okay? Be a father yourself. I would like to challenge you to turn the lens inward and ask yourself, am I in touch with my divine masculine? Can you be a father to yourself, a source of logic, firmness, action, or independence? Cultivate that part of you. This is not necessarily your real father, but your eternal or internal father figure and concept of fatherhood. Okay? Those are all ways to heal and think about that divine masculine. Healing your sacred or divine feminine, I'm going to give you some ideas about that. So one way is express yourself artistically. Open your horizon to putting images, colors, shapes, and sounds on your feelings. Art is a great way to connect with the creative essence of the divine feminine. Definitely focus on self-care. Take time to rest. Go to the spa, right, if you need to. Set healthier boundaries. When we're in our divine feminine energy, we know that the body, mind, and soul are sacred temples, and that it must always be looked after, pampered, and honored. Allow yourself to receive. The energy of the queen is laid back. She does not hustle. She does not run after what she wants. She attracts. All she needs to do is be, and it'll naturally and effortlessly come to her. Make sure to work on your law of attraction and manifestation techniques. As a powerful divine feminine is truly a weapon of massive manifestation. I tell clients all the time, manifest everything in your life as if it's already happened for you, okay? Focus your unconscious mind. In order to impress your subconscious mind, you first need to direct your conscious mind. This is another example of how it's literally impossible to heal a divine polarity without looking at the divine feminine and masculine as an inseparable pair. But anyways, a few ways you can focus on your unconscious is through therapy, shadow work, meditation, plant medicine, divination, regressive hypnotherapy. There's other practices that allows us to reach deep or altered states of consciousness as well. And I am going to be having different episodes about shadow work and different things like that. So it can help you at least understand some of that. Reconnect with your body. Dive deeper into what it means to be sensual with your body and what makes you a goddess. One of my favorite books, honestly, that I got turned on to is called Awakening the Goddess. It's a practical and magical guidebook written by a spiritual mentor, and it's helped me embody my inner goddess. I love the book. Not everyone does, but I do. I think it's amazing. It's very simple. And then collaborate with others, helping others, being caring and loving to yourself and the people around you without judgment or criticism is also very helpful. So use the beauty of the divine feminine to inspire others, to uplift them. It's just very essential to do that. Heal your relationships with your mother or mother figure. So just like I had mentioned with the divine masculine, this is not necessarily your real mother, right? But your internal mother figure and concept of motherhood. So really go in and heal that. And lastly, I would like to challenge you to turn the lens inward and ask yourself, am I in touch with my divine feminine? Can you be a mother to yourself, a source of loving, empathetic, compassionate, and supportive? Cultivate that part of you. Learn to possess the divine qualities of both the feminine and masculine. Allow that harmony to radiate out of you and bring light to the world. It's so amazing when you can feel it coming together, feel it balancing, and we all don't have it right or perfect, right? I don't either. I'm constantly working on myself. I'm constantly trying to keep the masculine and feminine in balance. And sometimes we lose parts of that. And it's okay. Don't give up. Keep trying. Just bring both the masculine and feminine together and balancing them. When you do, it drastically changes who you are. Stepping into this work isn't easy. It's not easy at all, but it is so powerful. So I will tell you stand in your power, and work to heal both parts of you. All of it, the masculine, the feminine. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, at all. This is within us all, and it can be so amazing and so powerful just balancing it out. And it drastically can change who you are. And we all want or need some type of change within ourselves. And this is a beautiful way to start. So I encourage you all to at least try, if not all of these steps, a few steps to get yourself there, and eventually all these steps to help you get back into that power and stand up on that pedestal and just work both the masculine and feminine into yourself in a healthy way. I hope you have a beautiful day, and thanks again for joining your energy esthetician on the Love Aligned podcast. Tune in for next week's show. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Love Aligned Podcast. Click on the link in my bio. Like, subscribe, comment, and then ring that bell. You can also private message me if you need a remote or in-person healing. You can email me at lovealignedpodcast@gmail.com for questions as well. Again, have a beautiful, beautiful day and happy healing.